Hey, this is Ben with Upstart HR, and today I want to talk a little bit about HRevolution. I know that most of you out there know that I have ties to it back to the very beginning, but for those of you that don't know about the event, or you're new, or maybe you just want to hear about it that bad, sit back and relax. So HRevolution it's an unconference where we bring together a group of HR professionals, recruiters, business leaders to talk about some of the big, nasty issues that we face and how to solve them. And really, that's it in a nutshell. Last time we covered things like social network analysis, which you can use for finding who the real influences are within an organization. We talked about influence, how to lead people and get them to do the things that maybe they weren't planning to do in the first place. All those sneaky tactics and things. We talked about performance management. Should you do it daily? Should you do it annually? Should you do it some other random interval? Just some of those big things that people go back and forth on, and we discuss those things. We have 20 people in the room. It's almost like being back in college and having a debate or something, because sometimes they get really serious. People have their beliefs, they want to share them. Anyway, HRevolution it's different from any event you've ever been to. If you haven't been, I highly encourage you to go. It is worth it. If you go once and you hate it, tell me, and I'll make sure you don't come back. Seriously, earlier this year, we had our third event in Atlanta. The most common complaint, and I heard it from more than a dozen people, the most common complaint was, the sessions are too short. We want more time to talk through this stuff. And really, that's the best problem we can have. The other big complaint was that people couldn't choose between two good sessions, which I had to laugh about, because I plan out in advance which ones I'm going to go to, and then the day of, I'm standing there staring at the agenda like, but really, I might need to go to this one. And so anyway, so it's definitely a different kind of event. 2009, I had to do my quick little math there, got my fingers up. 2009, we had our first event. I remember showing up, meeting Trish, Steve, and Crystal, the other planners, meeting them for the first time face to face, and saying, we're really here, we're really doing this. We talked online, we had talked on the phone. It was the closest we ever come to meeting each other. And then we just show up and hold this event. That first year was really amazing. I was excited to be a part of it. And then 2010, we had the second event. And people show up, they're like, man, it's been too long. I'm glad we finally got this thing going again. It seems like forever. And in reality, it hadn't been very long at all. 6, 8 months, something like that. It had been really short, but everyone was so excited. Couldn't wait to come back. This year we had the third one, and it was different. Different and the same. It was like, I felt like it was more grown up, like it was more of a serious event. That might have had to do with the venue that Crystal had picked out for us. We were at the Georgia Tech Conference Center, so it was a really, really nice place. It felt kind of conference-y. But then you get into a session and it's nothing like a conference, because everyone, there's nothing to stop me from jumping up in the back and shouting woohoo when someone says something that I agree with, like I did in one of the sessions. How to connect on social media without being creepy, I believe that was the session. But it was like we had grown up, and yet it was still, you still felt that same kind of kinship with everyone else. That's one of the things that I really love about it. You see these relationships develop between people, and these friendships that just seem, you kind of fall naturally into them. Like, the first time I'd ever met Trish before, now we talk on the phone, we're like best friends. Hey, how are your kids doing? All that fun stuff, and it's like we've always been friends. And you don't get that kind of thing usually with another conference. You meet someone, you might call them and say, hey, I'm having a problem with this. I know you had said you've done it. And that might be the extent of it. But this thing, you come back and you've got these friendships that last forever. I still laugh. two people that were coming to the first one had never met. April Dowling and Shauna Morkey had never met, but I saw that both of them were looking for a roommate. Well, I know both of them are kind of similar through the different conversations I've had with either of them. So I just said, hey, I know she's looking, why don't y'all talk? And that since then they've become friends. For a while Shauna had even come to Alabama to live here for a while and things like that. So seeing friendships like that grow and develop, I'll share a quick story. The second event we had in Chicago, this guy comes up to me. I'd never met him before. I didn't know who he was. And he starts talking about how the things that I'd written on the blog really impacted him, and he appreciated it, and it was making a difference to him. And I was like, man, I'm just writing because I like to, and about things that are happening to me. I'm not really a genius. I don't know anything more than you know. I'm just doing this stuff for fun. And he was adamant about how much value he was getting out of it. And let's see, 6 months later, we end up staying in a hotel room together for the Sherman Leadership Conference, and that was Dave Ryan from Illinois. He is an amazing guy. I'm so glad to know him. But without HRevolution, I never would have got to meet him face to face. Probably, I might have met him at the Sherman thing, maybe, but who knows? And the other thing about HRevolution is it's like my yardstick for other events. If something else claims to be a certain way, you'll get the networking or whatever else, I say, well, is it as good as HRevolution? Sometimes things are better, sometimes they're not, and it's just neat because I use that as my way to measure how good something else is. If it's going to be good, it better be dang good. Anyway, just some random thoughts about HRevolution. Definitely an amazing event. We're going to be in Las Vegas this year. Actually, we've already had one this year. This is our second one this year. A special one day in Las Vegas to kick off the HR Technology Conference. October 2nd. Let me look at my calendar, make sure. I should know this. Yes, October 2nd. It's a Sunday. The day before the HR Technology stuff kicks off, we'll be in Vegas, baby. If you want to check it out, go to HRevolution Las Vegas .eventbrite.com, or you can check out thehrrevolution.org and you can find the link there to that. We'd love to have you. If you're curious, if you want to know if it's right for you, if you have a question, feel free to shoot me an email. I'd love to even direct you to someone who's been there to give you kind of their perspective so you don't have to get the Ben filter on everything. My email address is ben@upstarthr.com. Anyway, hope to see you there, and Vegas, baby. Woohoo!